Yeah, rapt to see the boys get a good result. We've had 4 pretty tight games leading into this one, so to actually get the margin out a little bit, some good reward for the players.
Daniel Kerr's performance, you talked about you thought he would get better as the weeks progressed. You think we certainly saw that tonight?
He's improving, yeah, there's no doubt, which he'll continue to improve. He's still, and he's aware that he's just starting to get a few of those rusty bits out and starting to feel better running the games out. He pulled up well after the Hawthorn game. So these couple of longer breaks are going to do him the world of good in terms of his preparation as well.
What were some of the aspects tonight that stood out for you?
In terms of our performance, for longer parts of the game, better decision making and ball use. We've been working pretty hard on that. So that was pleasing. Some of the contested marking from some young players like Ebert and Darling, was outstanding tonight. Obviously, the getting the game played in our half and locking it in there for a fair bit, and not letting Melbourne get too many fast breaks on us was a really strong effort as well.
Is it the tackling aspect that's gone nothing major, not this year?
That's improved, but we had to win the footy and get it forward first, and then try and lock it in our forward line. So we have to still do well at stoppages and use the ball well to get it forward, not cough it up. I think a few of Melbourne's dangerous passages of play were from our poor turnovers, not real pressured kicks or just wrong decisions. So they're areas we're continually working on. But yeah.
Has Jack Darling's level of play this early in his career surprised you at all, John? The fact that he's been able to step in and not just hold his own, but...
Yeah, I would say that he's performing above what I had hoped, yeah. But I wouldn't say I was surprised because we were warned that he was talented. Our recruiting guys rated him really highly. So, and we also know that physically he's a bit more mature than even an Andrew Gaff. So that does help. He's not Gaff's 2 or 3 years away from maturing physically and being at his peak, and Darling's maybe only a year or so away.
What's the challenge for him now? To sustain that, or
he's
the next level, or
to play his role. Yeah, the next level. Well, there's through any player's career, there's a next level every year for usually 6 years. They continually improve. So we expect Jack to work hard to make sure he follows a similar pathway.
John, speaking of next levels, has Matt Freitas even taken his game to another level? You mentioned getting the ball in and out, and Freitas is doing it week in, week out, isn't he?
Yeah, he's held up extremely well for us. With a very young midfield for a few years. I don't know, it wore him down a couple of times where it was just hard work. Last year, he and Adam Selwood. And this year, even with Scott Selwood and Luke Shuey going through the midfield, it's still pretty young, but they've matured and they're helping him a lot now. And throwing Nick in there at times gives them another big body in there to help.
Has it also helped that he knows that he doesn't have to be taking on the sole responsibility of kicking it forward? He can get the quick handpoint pass out to someone like Shuey who will be able to hit someone up?
Yeah, it's that's a bit about the blend of the players in the team and having the mix of players we want out there, which we've been able to get for the majority of this year.
John,
With McRae,
John, the next month you play Essendon, Fremantle, Bulldogs, Collingwood. Is it fair to say that could be season defining?
Well, the Essendon game is our first big challenge. We've performed reasonably well against Sydney and Hawthorn. Essendon are another team that are going really well. So we just want to take that challenge up to them. What defines a season is 22 rounds. That's the way I always look at it. So our first 5 weeks doesn't define our season as the first 8 or 9 rounds won't. It'll be over 22 rounds. But Essendon, and I can't say we'll just take it a week at a time because it's 10 days away. So we'll just take it a week and a half at a time.
It's been 5 impressive hit-outs for 3 wins. Do you dare to dream of finals, or is it still too early?
If we had won 5, I would be a little bit excited. Yeah. But, we've lost to Hawthorn and Sydney in games that we had a chance to maybe win. and to make the finals, you have to win some of those games against those opposition, and that's where Essendon presents a great challenge for us to see where we're at.
With Lecrae easing his way back into the side, it must be pleasing to see a lot of guys step up and share the load with their goals and kick more.
Yeah, definitely. It was great to have Lecker back out there. He's pretty dangerous, a little bit rusty, but 3/4 of footy out of him was a good result for us, and that certainly helps us in terms of our planning going forward.
You had over 60 inside 50s for the game. Is the big issue now to capitalise on those inside 50s, those entries, and that?
Yeah, absolutely. Every team's aiming to try and be efficient going inside their forward 50, and if we were slow at all today, Melbourne certainly had numbers back. It's certainly the way they play, and we're reasonably happy with how we went. We missed a couple of early shots with Nick, missed a couple of good running shots at goal that didn't score at all. So we've got to make sure. I think Kerr had a long shot. He could have carried the ball a bit further, and Kennedy kicked one in there. So we had opportunities to kick a couple more goals that we've got to make sure we're good enough to take if we want to be a better team.
Still early days, John, but do you feel a little bit vindicated? You spoke about particularly the young players taking this group forward last year, and so far they seem to be delivering.
Yeah, I'm not trying to vindicate anything. I have my beliefs. So I'm not trying to vindicate anything to myself. I've still got a strong belief and faith in this group going forward that they can become a very powerful group of players. But there's a massive amount of work we've got to do to prove that. And that's what we're aiming to do. Starting this season in reasonable form hasn't really vindicated anything for what we want to do, and absolutely focused on doing the hard work to see these guys achieve real success.
Just back on Brito, actually, John, he's taken a knock to his finger. Is there any problem there?
I haven't heard, no, I didn't know. So.
No other injuries or anything?
Nothing, I don't think, tonight. It's a bonus, yeah.
Mark Nikoski's probably a bloke that sneaks under the radar a fair bit. I'm just interested to hear your thoughts on the way you viewed his progress through the injury struggles and to break back into the side and doing what he's doing.
Well, Nico played his majority of his football early as a defender, and we realised that we weren't utilising maybe the strengths we wanted out of Nico, so we challenged him to change his game to play more forward, without guaranteeing him that he was going to force his way into the side as a forward, but would at least give us another option. And he's worked really hard at that. Had some opportunities early last year and then got injured. And he was no walk-up certainty to be in the side early this year, but his work rate and form warranted him getting the first opportunity there, and he's grabbed that opportunity. And he knows this. We've got Jerick Whedon and Lewis Broom and Ashton Hams, Andrew Strike, all in pretty good touch that are waiting for their opportunity. So there is pressure on there for the guys to play their role and perform, and Nico's doing that.
As a coach, is it quite rewarding for you to see him be able to push his way back after so much?
It's more rewarding for Mark. I've seen him do the work. I know he's never given up, and I know he's had frustrations, but he's a very, very positive member of the team and a senior player now, really, with our group. So it's a fair reward for him.
Has Quinton Lynch done what he couldn't do last year and nailed down that position at full forward?
Yeah, he played more up the ground today, and he's presenting well and grabbing opportunities. So he's certainly performing a really strong role for us.